Welcome back to TV5 News. At 9, it is time for our favorite segment, Ask Sheriff Swanson. Thank you so much for joining us again, Sheriff.
I love it. Ask me anything you want.
Okay, perfect. So listen to this. It's been over a year since this pandemic started. Now, as you reflect, what were those first days like for you?
The first day, it's almost like you remember where you were when September 11th happened.
Right.
I remember where I was when I really grasped the devastation that COVID was going to do. And that is when every year I go down to Ohio, to Columbus, to a huge fitness expo called the Arnold Classic Spectacular. It's a big, gigantic show. And I remember when they shut it down, because it's an international show, and I'm thinking, how can you shut that down? At the same day, U of M closed, Big Ten, and we started seeing all these, and that's when it hit me. I will never take for granted when we get to go back to a large venue and enjoy a entertainment or a sports show with other people screaming and knocking red Solo cups out. I realized at that point that our life changed when you could shut all that down.
Right. You know, Sheriff, you are such a hands-on person. You really get in there with the community, and you hug them. You just like to be around them and just work with them. I'm sure it's been very difficult for you doing what you do and being the type of person you are during this pandemic.
You know, I think all of us suffered some type of social anxiety from not being a part of families and celebrations and the social experience of going to dinner. I think anybody who can look back now takes those experiences and just really lifts them up a little bit more and remembers them a little bit more, especially with the people that have died. You take life a little bit more serious now. And so in my own life, I am a very social person, but I was distracted by taking care of people, which filled that void of missing them, because as soon as it hit and you were all there, things were shutting down. We made sure we took care of our society, our community. So that's what started the Community Care Task Force. We started delivering food. And in 6 weeks, from March 17th till the 1st of June, we delivered 1 million pounds of solid food. We developed hubs.
Wow.
We took care of the jail. We were the 5th largest county and the 5th highest in death rate, but we didn't have a COVID case in the jail until almost 8 months after it started. We had a healthy population. So all that kept me occupied, but I'm telling you, a guy like me, I certainly missed that social part of it. Didn't get to speak to anybody in mass groups. That's why I love doing this.
Well, we appreciate having you. Now, your office, Sheriff, does both 24/7 emergency care and houses a large inmate population. So how did you adapt in both of those different roles?
So the sheriff is also the emergency manager of the county. And so not only do I take care of the inmates, but we also do patrol. We're the 9th biggest police department in the state of Michigan overall. But the emergency management role was key. Just like the water crisis in Flint, we had to pour, no pun intended, into the community, give them water, filters, and pipes, and working all that with the city. This was no different. We found ourselves deputies delivering Ensure and diapers and food. We tried to bring some lightness to people by doing drive-by birthday celebrations. We did well over 150 of them. We tried to be with the inmates to let them know what was going on. I had town halls up on the floors because court date cases were canceled. We had inmates that had court dates 18 months out. All that communication, it was happening like a flurry to make sure that we kept the temperature down. And to be unclear is to be unkind is what we have here in our command staff. And I wanted to make sure people knew that although things have changed, you've got people out there that are going to help you.
We love to hear that. So it's a year now since the pandemic started. How have things changed?
Well, I think we're seeing going back to normal is around the corner. And obviously you've heard the cliche being overused that we have a new normal. Right now, as if there's a recording, we've vaccinated almost 90,000 people here in Genesee County. We've vaccinated over 60% of our face-to-face teachers. And I think we see things starting to open. We see people starting to gather. I look at, there are things like the Community Care Task Force and how we protect ourselves. Like I don't care what anybody says, I have always gotten sick flying on an airplane without a mask. I have flown over the last 3 or 4 months and I have no problem wearing a mask on a plane anymore because I just feel like I'm protected from everybody else. That's going to change in my life. And the way we do business, just yesterday, we have had another car picnic, my wife and I. I enjoy getting a takeout and go sitting in a parking lot and having dinner with my wife.
Nice.
That's the new normal in the Swanson family. So I think families got pulled together. I remember in my own house, probably yours, there were 6 weeks that we actually had family dinners 4 or 5 days a week. We never did that before because everybody's going 1,000 miles an hour. There's not always something negative when it comes to this type of change. There's a lot of positive came out of it too.
And Sheriff, you are vaccinated now. Tell us about that experience for you.
Yes. Yeah, I never really questioned it. I mean, being a medic, I understand the technology and the science behind it. And I looked at it logically. I said, the greatest minds in the world, not just the state or the country, in the world, developed a vaccine. So I knew that based on that alone, I've got to trust the system, just like I want people to trust me.
Right.
Just like as a medic, when I tell somebody I'm giving a medication, you got to trust me, it's going to take care of you. So I had no problem. I got the Pfizer vaccine from Hurley Hospital. 3 weeks later, I got my second one. I had a little bit of a fever the second one. Some people have it reversed with Moderna. I didn't miss a beat. But what it really did is it gave my parents, who are 83 and 80, that confidence. I take care of retirees all the time. We're in a population here in the jail where we have people that are immune compromised. So I look at it as this isn't self-serving for Chris. I want to make sure people are protected from Chris.
Okay, so the sheriff said it. When you're able to, get your vaccine. We appreciate you calling in today. We'll see you again next week, Sheriff.
See you then.
Okay, see ya. And if you have a question you would like to ask Sheriff Swanson, send it to WNEM at WNEM.com.